Alright, so why does licensing take so long? Not necessarily just in Driving Empire, but this is Driving Empire as an example. So, I'm going to go through all these steps, not in too much detail, but I will go over kind of the steps that it takes to actually get the brands. And the first step is, of course, actually striking a deal and buying the licensing. Now, there's kind of two different separate things of, like, licensing. There's, like, licensing where you pay for, so you give a little bit of money to you know, have them in game. What the? Brands will go, ooh, yes, and then, you know, they'll take the car, or they'll take the money, give you some stuff to help have the cars in game, and that's that. And then the other thing is collab, like licensed cars. So it's basically that, like, the game doesn't really have to pay money, sometimes maybe, but like, they're in the game for a limited amount of time, and the only example we have of that is currently Lamborghini. So these aren't really licensed ones, even though they, like, Driving Empire could have paid a little bit of money just to strike the deal, kind of like, you know, get Lamborghini interested. They are still collab event vehicles kind of thing. So they're not like the regular licensed cars. Now, when you're like actually trying to strike a deal with the brands for collab or licensing, it could take months on months. It's not something that sadly like just happens. Like, you can't just go to the brands and say, hey, I'll pay you $10,000, let me have the cars in game. That's not how it works. And it's the same with actually accepting the cars. So once the brands say yes, you can have our cars in the game, and you know, they like settle on a deal kind of thing, there's a lot of paperwork that actually goes into signing, like having the brands able to come to the game. It's not like, you know, if money, say yes, they get like the cars in game. It takes like a lot of paperwork. Maybe not a lot, but like it does take paperwork and does take time to get the cars in game. And then after, say, they get all of that done, like, you know, they accepted it, they've like signed the contracts, whatever, then it actually starts the modeling phase. Now, this modeling phase is kind of a little bit interesting because some cars might take longer than others, and the reason for that is you have to actually get approval for the cars. So basically, once you've obviously gotten all the approval to start having the cars, like, get in process to model, and after you've finished modeling the cars, either two things happen. One of them is, say, the brands say, yes, well done, cars are amazing. Or the other one is that they'll say, no, there's some problems here, can you go fix this, or else you can't have the cars in the game, whatever. And then they have to go fix the problems. And sometimes that might take like many attempts. Like, it could take 3 attempts before the car is actually approved. It really depends on the car and how well it's done. So some cars can take a month to finish, or some cars can take even longer than that. I think the average is around a month or a little bit less, but it's still a long time just for one single car. Obviously, there's other people like working on these, so it's not just one single person getting every single licensed car out. But just getting the cars approved is a whole process. Then after that, if it gets all approved, all the cars are fine, or at least the one car is fine, you have to get the update kind of approved. So even though you have to get the cars approved, you have to get the update approved to make sure everything is fine. So there's a lot of tests, even though there's sometimes bugs with updates, there is a lot of tests that goes into having the update out kind of thing to make sure everything is perfect, all the cars work, all of the cars like don't have holes in them or something like that. Like, they're perfect basically. Sometimes there might be some bugs with like rims, but that's something that can easily get fixed, so it's more or less fine. And then there is your update. So, like, licensing doesn't take just a week to do. Licensing a brand can take, like, honestly, if you want an update with like 5 cars, it could take up to like 5 months to, actually probably over 5 months to just get out. If you remember the Koenigsegg update, Koenigsegg was in the works for a whole year. Koenigsegg. I know Koenigsegg's a big brand, but it kind of should paint a picture on how long other brands could take to come to the game. Like, 4 cars on Koenigsegg, a whole year. So, like I said, other cars could take like quicker amount of time to finish. Some might take even longer. Now, I know I complain about some updates because genuinely some updates are boring. Even though licensed cars are cool, having them every single update does get very boring. But when the update comes out and you didn't get, say, like BMW doesn't come to the game, you shouldn't say L update then, because it's a little bit silly just because you didn't get BMW that update. Like, you know, it's a little bit weird. If the update is boring and actually just doesn't bring anything interesting, then that makes sense. But just like, if you call the update bad because it didn't bring your favorite car, I think it's a little bit silly. Anyway, that's how long licensing takes. I hope some of you at least listen to this before going like begging when the next brand is. Now, this week there will be a new brand. So, like for example, that could have been in the works for literally months on months on months just to come to the game. So when there ever is a new brand, kind of take that into mind. After like obviously brands get licensing game, having like extra cars is like a little bit easier obviously. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say. I wanted to just put that out there so you guys know how long brands actually take to come to the game, because it is a while. With that being said, tell me what brand you think is coming to the game this week. Have a good day.